The text came in at 11:47 p.m., just as I was elbow-deep in the guts of a Dell laptop that had seen better days. Staying at Jennifer's tonight? Don't worry. Love you. I stared at the screen of my phone, sitting there among the scattered screws and circuit boards on my workbench. Jennifer, Monica's college friend, the one who lived in that overpriced townhouse on Maple Street and drank white wine like it was going out of style. Love you, I said aloud to the empty shop, my voice dripping with sarcasm. How touching. I'm Eliot Harper. Eli to everyone who doesn't want to sound like they're addressing a Victorian gentleman. 41 years old, owner of Harper IT Solutions, which is a fancy way of saying I fix computers in a strip mall between a nail salon and a vape shop. Not exactly the American dream, but it pays the bills. Most of them anyway. The shop smelled like burnt coffee and electronic dust. I'd been there since 6 that morning because Mrs. Patterson needed her laptop fixed by Tuesday, and it was already Monday night. That's the thing about running your own business. You're never really off the clock. I picked up my beer, took a long pull, and went back to the laptop. Monica staying at Jennifer's wasn't unusual. They had their wine nights, their book club meetings that never seemed to involve any actual books. I'd learned to tune it out years ago, but something nagged at me. A splinter in my brain I couldn't quite reach. I finished the repair around 1 a.m, locked up the shop, and drove home through streets so empty they felt apocalyptic. Our house sat at the end of Birch Lane, a split level that had been nice once, maybe 20 years ago. Now the siding was faded, the lawn perpetually needed mowing, and the whole neighborhood had that run-down look of people who'd given up trying. The house was dark when I pulled into the driveway. Jamie's car was there, our 16-year-old daughter who treated me like I was an embarrassing stain she couldn't quite scrub out. Ben's bike lay on its side by the garage, because 12-year-old boys don't believe in kickstands, apparently. I went inside, grabbed another beer from the fridge, and that's when my phone rang. Jennifer. Before we dive deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment, and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible Reddit stories. Hey, Eli, she said, sounding confused. Is Monica there? She was supposed to drop off those staging photos for my listing, but she never showed up. The beer suddenly tasted like metal in my mouth. She texted me she was staying at your place tonight, I said slowly. Silence on the other end. The kind of silence that speaks volumes. Eli, I haven't seen Monica in 2 weeks. We had a fight about, look, she's not here. She hasn't been here. We said our goodbyes. Awkward, stilted. I stood in my kitchen under the flickering fluorescent light, holding my phone like it might explode. I didn't call Monica, didn't text. Instead, I went to the junk drawer, pulled out a notepad, and wrote in my neatest handwriting. Jennifer called looking for you at 11 p.m. I hope the real address was worth losing this one. I left it on the counter, right where she'd see it when she came home. Then I grabbed my keys and left. I didn't go back to the shop. I drove to Ray's place. Ray Kowalski, my gym buddy, and the closest thing I had to a best friend. He worked as a bouncer at Mulligan's bar downtown, and I knew he'd be finishing his shift. I found him in the parking lot, lighting a cigarette under the sodium lights. Eli, he said, surprised. It's 2 a.m. What's wrong? Monica's cheating on me. The words came out flat, matter of fact. Ray's expression shifted from surprise to something harder. You sure? She lied about where she was tonight. Got caught in it, I'm sure. Ray took a long drag, exhaled smoke into the cold night air. What are you going to do? I don't know yet, I said, but I'm going to find out who, when, and how long, and then I'm going to burn her whole world down. Ray nodded slowly. You need help? You call me? I mean it. I went home as dawn was breaking. Monica's car was in the driveway. I walked in to find her standing in the kitchen. My note crumpled in her hand, her face a mask of fury. What the hell is this? She demanded. The truth, I said calmly. Where were you? That's none of your business. You're my wife. It's literally my business. She threw the note at me. It bounced off my chest and fell to the floor. You don't own me, Eli. I needed space. I needed to think. At 11 p.m. on a Monday night, without telling me the truth? I don't owe you every detail of my life. I looked at her, really looked at her. Monica Harper, née Brennan. 39 years old, still beautiful in that sharp, angular way that made men look twice. Real estate manager at Pinnacle Properties, always dressed like she was about to close $1 million deal. She'd been the girl who was out of my league in high school, and somehow I'd convinced her to marry me 20 years ago. Now I wondered if I'd ever really known her at all. Who is he? I asked quietly. Her eyes widened just for a second. Confirmation. You're paranoid, she said, but her voice wavered. I'm going to find out, I told her. You know I will. I'm good at finding things, Monica. It's literally what I do for a living. She grabbed her purse and headed for the door. I'm going to work. Don't wait up. After she left, I stood in the kitchen for a long time. Then I went to my laptop and started digging. Monica wasn't tech-savvy. She used the same password for everything, our anniversary date, backwards. I'd set it up for her years ago, and she'd never changed it. Within 10 minutes, I was in her email. What I found made my stomach turn. Months of messages, explicit photos, plans to meet at condo showings, and a name that appeared over and over, Nick Ferris. Nick Slicknick Ferris. 32 years old, mortgage broker at Platinum Lending, Monica's associate on a dozen real estate deals. I'd met him at company parties, all white teeth and expensive cologne, the kind of guy who called everyone buddy and drove a BMW he couldn't really afford. The messages were detailed, graphic. They talked about me, about how I was boring, how I didn't understand Monica, how she deserved better. There were group chats with Monica's friends, all of them laughing at me, calling me the computer nerd and Monica's ball and chain. I read every single message. It took hours. By the time I finished, the sun was high in the sky and I felt like I'd been hollowed out. But I wasn't sad. I was calculating. I spent the next week watching, learning patterns. Monica had a showing at the Riverside Luxury Condos every Wednesday at 6 p.m., except she didn't. The condo building's website showed no open houses scheduled. She'd be gone for 3 hours, come home smelling like expensive wine and lies. Wednesday came. I closed the shop early and drove to Riverside. The building was all glass and steel, the kind of place that charged $3,000 a month for a studio. I parked across the street and waited. At 6:15, Monica's silver Lexus pulled into the garage. At 6:23, Nick's black BMW followed. I waited, watched the building's windows. 7th floor, Unit 704. The lights came on. I could see shadows moving behind the curtains. At 9:30, they emerged together. Monica's hair was messier than it had been. Nick's shirt was untucked. They stood by their cars, talking, laughing. He kissed her. Not a peck, a real kiss. The kind that made my hands ball into fists. They got in their cars. Monica drove off first. Nick stood there checking his phone, smiling at whatever he saw. I waited until he went back inside, probably forgot something, and then I moved. I'd brought a knife, a box cutter from the shop. I slashed all 4 of his tires, methodical and quick. Then I took my keys and carved one word into the driver's side door. Liar. I was back in my car when I saw the curtain twitch in a ground floor window. An old man, watching. He raised his phone. Damn it. I drove home, adrenaline pumping through my veins. I'd crossed a line, vandalism, property damage. But God, it felt good. I was in bed, pretending to sleep, when Monica came home. She moved quietly through the house, probably checking to see if I was awake. I kept my breathing steady, even. The next morning, my phone buzzed with a text from a number I didn't recognize. It was a photo. Me, standing by Nick's car in the parking garage. My face clearly visible in the security lighting. Then another text from Monica. We need to talk. I smiled in the darkness of my bedroom. Let the games begin. Monica was already in the kitchen when I came downstairs. She had her laptop open, her face pale. The photo pulled up on the screen. Mr. Bellman sent this to me, she said. He lives at Riverside. He saw you last night. I poured myself coffee, taking my time. Okay. Okay, that's all you have to say? You vandalized Nick's car. Did I? I took a sip. The coffee was terrible. Monica always made it too weak. Don't play games, Eli. This is serious. Nick could press charges. Let him. Then I'll have to explain to the police why I was there, why my wife was there, how long you've been screwing him. She flinched, actually flinched. I want a divorce, she said. No. What? I set down my coffee cup. You don't get to cheat on me, humiliate me, and then just walk away clean. You want out? You're going to have to work for it. You're being ridiculous. I'm being honest. Maybe try it sometime. She slammed her laptop shut and stormed out. I heard her car screech out of the driveway. Jamie came down 10 minutes later, already glued to her phone. She looked at me with barely concealed disgust. Mom's crying, she announced. What did you do? Ask your mother. She said you're being controlling, that you won't let her have her own life. I laughed. Couldn't help it. Is that what she said? Why are you being such a jerk? Mom works hard. She deserves to be happy. And I don't? Jamie rolled her eyes. You're like obsessed with her. It's creepy. She grabbed a granola bar and left. Ben appeared a moment later, quiet as always. He looked at me with those serious 12-year-old eyes. "Are you and Mom getting divorced?" he asked. "I don't know, buddy." "Is it because of that guy? The one who came to dinner last month?" "What guy?" "The mortgage guy, Nick. He was here when I came home from school. He and Mom were in the living room. They stopped talking when I walked in." "Did you tell anyone?" Ben shook his head. "Was I supposed to?" I pulled him into a hug. "No, you're a good kid. Don't worry about grown-up stuff, okay?" But I was worrying. If Nick had been at our house, in broad daylight, how long had this been going on? How brazen had they been? I went to the shop, but I couldn't focus. My dad's squad, a group of regular customers who'd become friends over the years, noticed immediately. "You look like hell," said Pete Donovan, dropping off his wife's tablet. Pete was a plumber, 50-something, with hands like baseball mitts. "Marriage troubles," I admitted. "Say no more." Pete leaned against the counter. "My first wife cheated, took me for everything in the divorce. You got a good lawyer?" "Not there yet. Get there, and get mean. These things, you can't play nice." Dave Martinez came in next. High school teacher, always had some ancient computer that needed fixing. "Heard Monica's been seen around town with that Ferris kid. You know about that?" "Small towns. Everyone knows everything." "I know," I said. "What are you going to do?" "I'm working on it." That night, I went through Monica's social media. Her friends were already circling the wagons. Posts about toxic relationships, and women deserve happiness, and sometimes love isn't enough. Passive-aggressive garbage aimed at me. One post from Lauren Oakes, Monica's best friend since college, particularly caught my eye. Supporting my girl through her difficult time. Some men just can't handle a strong woman. Lauren. PR consultant. Always perfectly dressed, always with an opinion. She'd never liked me. I'd always assumed it was because I wasn't successful enough for Monica in her eyes. But now I wondered if there was more to it. I started researching. Lauren had been on the PTA board at Jamie's school 3 years ago. There'd been some scandal about missing fundraiser money. I'd been the one who'd noticed the discrepancies in the accounting. My IT work made me good with numbers. I'd reported it to the principal. Lauren had been quietly removed from the board. No charges, no public announcement. But she'd known I was the one who'd flagged it. Was this revenge? Had Lauren been pushing Monica toward this affair? I filed that thought away and kept digging. Friday night came, Jamie's school talent show. Monica had mentioned it weeks ago, back when we were still pretending to be a normal family. I'd promised to go. I showed up at the auditorium at 7. The place was packed. Parents, teachers, kids running around. I found a seat in the back. Monica arrived 15 minutes later. With Nick. They weren't hiding it. They walked in together, found seats near the front. Monica's hand brushed Nick's arm. He leaned in to whisper something. She laughed. Around me, I could hear the whisper starting. Everyone saw. Everyone knew. Jamie's performance was halfway through, some acoustic guitar thing that was actually pretty good. I was proud of her, even if she hated me. During intermission, I saw Monica and Nick slip out to the lobby. I followed. They were by the refreshment table, heads close together, talking in low voices. Nick's hand was on Monica's waist. I walked up to them. "Hey, Nick," I said pleasantly. "Enjoying the show?" He jumped, actually jumped. Monica's face went white. "Eli," she said, "what are you—" "I'm here for my daughter. What's your excuse?" I looked at Nick. "Oh, wait, you're here for my wife. How's your car, by the way?" "You're insane," Nick said, but his voice shook. "Am I? Let me ask you something, Nick. Does your fiancé know you're here?" His face went from pale to red. "What? Your fiancé, Stephanie Chen, works at the bank downtown. You proposed to her 6 months ago. It was in the newspaper." Monica turned to Nick, confusion and horror mixing on her face. "You're engaged?" "It's complicated," Nick stammered. "It's really not," I said. "He's a cheater, just like you, Monica. You're perfect for each other." People were staring now. A crowd had gathered. I noticed Monica's boss, Ms. Travis, watching with interest, and other parents were recording the scene with their phones. "You're making a scene," Monica hissed, her voice full of desperation. "Good. I want everyone to know what you are. What you both are." Nick stepped forward, his bravado as fake as everything about him. "You need to leave." "This is a public school event. I have every right to be here," I said, my voice calm. "You, on the other hand, are here with another man's wife. How does that look?" Ms. Travis approached. "Is there a problem?" "No problem," I said cheerfully. "Just introducing everyone to my wife's boyfriend. Nick Ferris, mortgage broker and serial cheater. Monica Harper, real estate manager and devoted mother, when she's not at fake condo showings. Monica's face crumbled, her facade falling apart. She turned and bolted for the door. Nick stood there, frozen, as people whispered and stared. Then Stephanie, Nick's fiancée, pushed through the crowd, eyes blazing with fury. "You son of a bastard," she spat before throwing her drink in Nick's face. I turned on my heel and walked back into the auditorium, finding my seat. I didn't need to watch the rest of the performance to know that Jamie had just been given a show she'd never forget. I leaned back in my seat with a satisfied smile on my face, knowing that the moment I had been waiting for had finally arrived. The fallout came fast. By Saturday morning, the video was all over every parent group chat and social media platform. Monica's phone wouldn't stop ringing. Jamie screamed at me for ruining everything, while Ben hid in his room. Monica moved into the guest room, and we didn't speak. But I wasn't done yet. Not even close. On Monday morning, I went to the bank and closed our joint accounts. I moved everything to a new account in my name only. It was my money anyway. Monica made more than me, but she kept her income separate. The joint account had always been funded entirely by my shop. I canceled Jamie's car insurance. She wanted to side with Monica? Fine. Let Monica handle it. I called the electric company, the water company, and the internet provider. I changed everything to my name. If Monica wanted to keep the lights on, she'd have to deal with it herself. Then I started on the real revenge. I'd been reading Monica's emails for weeks. I knew everything, including the fact that she had been lying to her boss about her charity work, claiming hours at a homeless shelter for the company's community service requirement, when she had actually been with Nick. I compiled everything, screenshots, timestamps, all the evidence. I put it in a neat folder and sent it anonymously to Ms. Travis. By Tuesday afternoon, Monica was called into the office. By Tuesday evening, she was suspended pending investigation. She came home in tears, screaming at me. "You did this. You ruined my career." "You ruined it yourself," I said calmly. "I just made sure people knew the truth." "I hate you," she screamed. "The feeling's mutual." Wednesday, Ray and I paid a visit to Nick's office. Platinum Lending was located in a strip mall downtown, all glass doors and motivational posters. Nick was with a client, young couple, probably first-time homebuyers. I walked right in without hesitation. "Nick," I said warmly, acting like we were long-lost friends. "Good to see you, buddy." Nick stood up, his face panicked. "Eli, I'm with clients." "Oh, don't let me interrupt," I said, acting overly casual. "I just wanted to drop something off." I pulled out my coffee. Ray and I had stopped at Starbucks on the way, and accidentally tripped, spilling the entire drink down Nick's pristine white shirt. "Oh man, I'm so sorry," I said, grabbing napkins to wipe it up, but only making it worse. "I'm such a klutz." Ray stood in the doorway, arms crossed, his presence intimidating. The client couple looked terrified, clearly unsure what to make of the situation. "You need to leave," Nick said through gritted teeth. Of course. But hey, while I'm here..." I pulled a USB drive from my pocket and set it on his desk. "You might want to give this to your boss. It's got some really interesting emails on it. Client confidentiality stuff. You know how it is." I left before he could respond, and Ray followed me out, grinning. "What's on the drive?" he asked. "Every email between Nick and Monica, including the ones where they discussed using client information to plan their meetups." "That's not illegal, is it?" "No, but it's unethical as hell. His boss will love it." By Thursday, Nick was suspended too. By Friday, Monica's friends had stopped calling. The group chat had gone silent. Lauren tried to reach out, offering support, but even she seemed distant. I was winning. But I wasn't finished. Not by a long shot. The next 2 weeks were brutal. Monica barely spoke to me. Jamie went full teenage rebellion mode, staying out late, failing classes, posting TikToks about what a loser her dad was. Ben had become a ghost, slipping through the house like he was afraid to be noticed. I threw myself into work and the gym. Ray had gotten me a membership at his place, a no-frills boxing gym that smelled like sweat and determination. I started going every morning at 5, hitting bags until my knuckles bled, running until my lungs burned. I was transforming, getting lean, getting hard, getting mean. "You're looking good," Ray said one morning, holding the heavy bag while I worked. "Monica notice?" "Don't care if she does." "Liar." He was right. Part of me wanted her to see what she'd lost, but a bigger part just wanted to destroy her. The evidence against Monica kept mounting. I'd found more emails, more lies. She'd been having the affair for 8 months. 8 months of late showings and client dinners and networking events. But the more I dug, the more something else bothered me. Lauren. Lauren was in every group chat, every email chain. She was always there, encouraging Monica, pushing her toward Nick, making excuses for the affair. She'd been the one to suggest the Riverside condos. She'd been the one to cover for Monica with Jennifer. Why? What did Lauren get out of this? I started investigating her. It wasn't hard. People leave digital footprints everywhere. What I found was interesting. Lauren Oakes, PR consultant. Divorced twice, no kids. Successful on the surface, but her business was struggling. She'd lost 3 major clients in the past year. Her social media showed a perfect life, but her credit report told a different story. Maxed out cards, late payments, a second mortgage on her condo. And then I found the connection. 3 years ago, after I'd reported the PTA embezzlement, Lauren had lost more than her board position. She'd lost a major client. The school district had been considering her firm for their PR work. After the scandal, they'd gone with someone else. She blamed me. I'd found posts on a private Facebook group venting about that computer nerd who ruined everything. This wasn't about Monica finding happiness. This was about Lauren destroying me. She'd pushed Monica into the affair, knowing it would blow up our marriage. She'd encouraged the public displays, the social media posts, everything designed to humiliate me. And when it all came crashing down, Monica would be the one left holding the pieces while Lauren watched from the sidelines. I had to hand it to her. It was a good plan. Too bad I was about to ruin it. I called Ray. I need your help with something. Name it. How do you feel about a little breaking and entering? I feel like you should explain what you mean by that. I told him my plan. He was quiet for a long moment. That's either brilliant or insane, he finally said. Can it be both? When do we do this? Saturday night. I spent the next few days preparing. I needed the perfect location, somewhere private, somewhere I could control. I found it in an abandoned warehouse on the industrial side of town. The place had been empty for years, scheduled for demolition, but stuck in permit hell. I set up cameras, portable ones, the kind I used for security system installs. I tested the angles, made sure everything was perfect. Then I sent the messages. To Monica. We need to talk. About us, about the kids, about everything. Meet me at the old Morrison warehouse Saturday at 8 p.m. Come alone. To Nick. I have evidence that could destroy your career. Meet me at Morrison warehouse Saturday at 8 p.m. Come alone or I send everything to the state licensing board. To Lauren. I know what you did. I know everything. Morrison warehouse, Saturday, 8 p.m. Don't make me expose you. Saturday came. Ray and I arrived at 7, parked out of sight. The warehouse was exactly as creepy as I'd hoped. Broken windows, graffiti-covered walls, the smell of rust and decay. You sure about this? Ray asked. Absolutely not, but I'm doing it anyway. Monica arrived first, at 7:55. She looked scared, clutching her purse like it might protect her. She walked into the warehouse slowly, calling my name. Nick showed up at 8:02 in his BMW with the replaced tires. He looked angry, which was good. Lauren arrived last at 8:07 in her white Mercedes. She looked calculating, which was even better. I waited until all 3 were inside, confused and starting to argue with each other. Then Ray and I walked in. Thanks for coming, I said. They all spun around. Monica's face went white, and Nick looked like he might run. Lauren just narrowed her eyes. What is this? Monica demanded. This is the reckoning. I pulled out my phone. See this? I'm streaming everything, live, to a private server. If anything happens to me, it goes public. Every email, every text, every lie. You're insane, Nick said. I'm thorough. There's a difference. I looked at Lauren. Want to tell them, or should I? Tell us what? Monica asked. About how your best friend orchestrated your entire affair. How she's been manipulating you for 3 years, all because I reported her for embezzlement. Monica looked at Lauren. What's he talking about? He's lying, Lauren said smoothly. He's desperate. Am I? I pulled up the evidence on my phone. Here's your messages to Monica, pushing her toward Nick. Here's your posts about me on that private group. Here's your financial records showing you needed money you thought you'd get from Monica's divorce settlement if you could push her into leaving me. That's ridiculous, Lauren said, but her voice wavered. Is it? You've been bleeding her dry. Emergency loans that never get paid back. Business investments that never pan out. You needed Monica dependent on you, needed her to think you were her only friend, so you isolated her from everyone else and pushed her into an affair you knew would destroy her marriage. Monica was staring at Lauren now, understanding dawning. The loan last month. You said it was for your business, but... Monica, don't listen to him, Lauren said. And you. I turned to Nick. How many women are you stringing along? I found 5. 5 different women who all think they're your girlfriend, including Monica. That's not true, Nick said weakly. Want me to call them? I have their numbers. Monica looked at Nick, then at Lauren, then at me. You're all insane, every single one of you. Maybe, I said, but at least I'm honest about it. Ray had been standing by the door, silent. Now he moved, casual but menacing. I think Nick and Lauren should have a conversation. In private. He herded them toward a back room, an old supply closet with a door that's still locked. They protested, but Ray was bigger and scarier. He pushed them inside and locked the door. Through the door, we could hear them immediately turn on each other. Lauren blaming Nick for being sloppy. Nick blaming Lauren for pushing things too far. It was beautiful. Monica and I stood in the empty warehouse, the sound of their argument echoing around us. You did all this, she said quietly. You destroyed everything. You destroyed it first. I just made sure everyone knew. I loved you once. I loved you too. Past tense. Sirens wailed in the distance. Someone must have called the cops, probably a neighbor who saw the cars. We need to leave, I said. What about them? Monica gestured to the locked room. They'll figure it out. Come on. Ray and I slipped out the back. We had alibis. We'd been at the gym until 15 minutes ago. Plenty of witnesses. The cameras I'd set up were disposable, untraceable. By the time the cops arrived, we were gone. But the damage was done. The fallout from the warehouse was spectacular. The police found Monica, Nick, and Lauren and Nick still locked in the supply room, screaming at each other. Monica tried to explain what happened, but her story was so convoluted that the cops just looked confused. No charges were filed. No crime had been committed, technically. But the story spread like wildfire. By Monday, everyone in town knew. The real estate office, the mortgage company, the PR firm, everyone. Monica's suspension became a termination. Nick lost his license pending investigation. Lauren's business collapsed as clients fled. I should have felt satisfied. I should have felt victorious. Instead, I felt empty. Jamie still hated me. Ben was still withdrawn. My marriage was over, my family was broken, and yeah, I'd gotten revenge. But what had it cost? I was sitting in the shop on Wednesday afternoon, staring at a computer screen and seeing nothing when Pete walked in. Heard about the warehouse thing, he said. Impressive. Was it? You having second thoughts? I don't know what I'm having. Pete sat down across from me. My ex-wife, after everything, I hated her. Hated her for years. But you know what I realized? Hating her was just giving her power over me. She was living rent-free in my head. So what did you do? I let it go. Not forgave. I'll never forgive her. But I stopped letting it control me. I don't think I'm there yet. You will be, or you won't. Either way, you got to decide what kind of man you want to be. He left. I sat there thinking about what he'd said. The annual Founders' Day celebration was that Saturday. Big community event. Booths, food trucks, a stage for speeches and performances. Monica had been on the planning committee. I wondered if she'd still show up. Friday night, I got a call from Jamie. Dad? Her voice was small, uncertain. She hadn't called me Dad in months. Hey, sweetheart. Can we talk? She came over. She'd been staying with Monica at a hotel. We sat in the living room, the house feeling huge and empty around us. Mom's a mess, Jamie said. She cries all the time. She lost her job. Lauren won't talk to her. Nick blocked her number. I'm sorry, I said and meant it. Are you? You did this. You destroyed her. She destroyed us first. I know. Jamie looked at her hands. I saw the emails. Mom showed me trying to prove you were the bad guy. But they were... God, Dad. They were awful. The things she said about you. About us. I'm sorry you had to see that. Why did she do it? Weren't we enough? I pulled her into a hug. It's not about you, baby. It was never about you. Adults mess up. We're selfish and stupid and we hurt the people we love. But it's not your fault. She cried. I held her. For the first time in months, I felt like maybe I hadn't lost everything. Are you coming to Founders' Day? She asked. I don't know. Should I? Mom's going to be there. She's going to try to make a speech, try to save face. Lauren's going to be there too. It's going to be a disaster. An idea formed. Terrible. Brilliant. Probably insane. Yeah, I said. I'll be there. Saturday was perfect. Sunny, warm, the whole town turning out. I arrived early, found Ray at the beer tent. You're up to something, he said. Maybe. Should I be worried? Probably. Monica arrived at noon, looking haggard but determined. She'd lost weight, her clothes hanging loose. Lauren was with her, both of them trying to project confidence they didn't feel. Nick was nowhere to be seen. Smart man. The speeches started at 2. Local politicians, business owners, community leaders. Monica was scheduled for 2:30. I waited until 2:25, then walked up to the stage coordinator. I need to make an announcement, I said. Family emergency. She looked uncertain. I don't know. Please, it's important. Something in my face convinced her. She nodded. Monica was walking toward the stage when I climbed up. She froze. I took the microphone. The crowd, maybe 300 people, went quiet. Hi, everyone, I said. I'm Eliot Harper. Some of you know me, some of you know of me. I want to take a minute to thank some people. Monica was trying to get to the stage. Ray stepped in front of her, polite but immovable. First, I want to thank my wife, Monica, for 20 years of marriage, for 2 beautiful kids, for teaching me that trust is something you earn, not something you're owed. People were pulling out phones. This was going to be everywhere. I want to thank Nick Ferris, mortgage broker, for showing me that some men have no honor. That success and character are 2 very different things. Gasps from the crowd. This was better than reality TV. And I especially want to thank Lauren Oakes, PR consultant, for orchestrating my wife's affair as revenge for me reporting her embezzlement 3 years ago. Really, Lauren, that's dedication, destroying someone's marriage over a grudge. That's commitment. Lauren was trying to leave. The crowd had closed in, everyone staring, judging. But most of all, I want to thank myself for being blind, for trusting people who didn't deserve it, for thinking love was enough. I looked at Monica. She was crying, mascara running down her face. I'm done, I said. I'm selling the house. I'm taking my son. Jamie's old enough to choose, and she's chosen her mother. I'm leaving this town, starting over somewhere no one knows me. Monica, you want a divorce? You got it. I'll sign whatever papers you want. But first, I pulled an envelope from my pocket. DNA results came in yesterday. Jamie's mine, Ben's mine, in case anyone was wondering. I wasn't going to mention it. It was cruel, unnecessary. But I saw Lauren whisper something to Monica, saw Monica's face change, and I knew. They'd been planning to use paternity as a weapon, so I took it away from them. That's all I wanted to say. Enjoy the festival, everyone. I dropped the mic, literally dropped it, let it thud on the stage, and walked away. Behind me, chaos erupted. Monica collapsed, someone calling for a doctor. Lauren was surrounded by angry former friends. The crowd was buzzing, phones out, recording everything. I found Ray at his truck. That was brutal, he said. Yeah. Feel better? No. But I feel done. We drove away from Founders Day, away from the crowd, away from Monica and Lauren and the wreckage of my old life. I'd won. I'd gotten my revenge. I'd humiliated everyone who'd hurt me. But Pete was right. Revenge didn't fix anything. It just made the emptiness louder. Still, as we drove through town, past the houses and shops and people who'd all be talking about me tomorrow, I felt something like peace. I'd been the underdog, the computer nerd, the boring husband who wasn't enough. Now I was the man who'd burned it all down and walked away. Maybe that was enough. Epilogue. 3 months later. The shop sold for more than I expected. Turns out a loyal customer base is worth something. I split everything with Monica. The house, the savings, all of it. I didn't want her money. I just wanted out. Ben came with me. Jamie stayed with Monica, but we talked every week. She was doing better, so was I. I moved to Portland, opened a new shop, started over. Ray visited last week. We went to a boxing gym, worked out, got beers after. You hear about Monica? He asked. No. She's working retail, manager at a Target. Lauren moved to another state, changed her name. Nick's driving for Uber. Good for them. You really don't care. I really don't. And it was true. The anger had faded. The need for revenge had burned out. All that was left was the future, mine and Ben's. We were building something new, something better. Monica had texted me once, a month ago. I'm sorry. I'd read it, thought about responding, then deleted it. Some apologies don't deserve answers. I'm 42 now, single, starting over. My son is happy. My daughter is healing. My business is growing. I'm not the underdog anymore. I'm not the victim. I'm just a man who learned that sometimes the best revenge is living well. But first, you have to burn everything down.